Hello, Sonder fam, and welcome to our Saturday evening weekly setup. We are getting ready to set up this third week of June here. Believe it or not, the month is rolling by, and I am here to help kind of guide you through that process so you can feel solid about going into Monday having everything all set up. So I was kind of watching the chat. I don't know, is this anybody's first social that you haven't been to one of our socials before? You can just pop like a me in the chat or say, this is my first social. I know I see in the chat, I see some people that look from, oh, Patty, Lee, awesome. We've got some new first. Marcy, excellent. Love it. Welcome, welcome. So I see Jackie is also saying it's her first social. So welcome to our new folks. Welcome to our returning folks. What we do here at Silk and Sonder is we have these socials. We have the setup socials where we help you set up your week. We help you set up your month. Obviously, toward the end of the month, we'll be setting up July. And so these are really good times to kind of figure out, if you're new to Silk and Sonder, you just got your journal and you're like, what the heck is this? What do I do with this? This is a great place to be. I always also like to tell our new folks, make sure that you're ready to take some screenshots, or if you have like your camera and you want to, your phone, you want to take a picture or something like that, because we'll be showing lots and lots of examples. And so sometimes you want to be able to look back and remember those. We'll also give you the link at the end to our secret YouTube channel that's only for our Silk and Sonder members, so you can watch a replay if you need to go back and do that. Also, we have lots of different weekly setups. We have Saturday night, we do tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, we do Sunday evening, and we do Monday morning. So lots of opportunities for you to hop on and catch that weekly setup. And the weekly setups really are kind of set up the same. We try to incorporate some new examples. So I'll also be encouraging you to post some of your pictures of your setup into Sonder Club, because that's where we get all of our examples. So my name is Maya, and I am coming to you from Denver, Colorado, where I think the temperature has fluctuated like 10 times today. I was telling Jennifer, who is my stage manager here, Jennifer O, she's in Texas. She'll be kind of watching the chat and keeping an eye on everybody. But I was telling her, I think I've changed clothes like 5 times today, because the first time it would be too hot and then I was too cold, and we've had a lot of weird rain. And so I don't know what things are like for you, but here it's been kind of an up and down kind of day. So just a few little housekeeping tips. The first thing is make sure that you set your chat to everyone. Otherwise, it automatically defaults to host and panelist. So if it does that, the only people who see your chat are myself and Jennifer. And so a lot of times you want your Sonder fam to see your chat. So make sure you switch that over. And if you're on an iPad or an iPhone, it will keep flipping back and forth. So it's kind of obnoxious, but you have to kind of flip. Oh goodness, Mary says, it's 7 o'clock in Florida and it's 90 degrees. Oof. Okay, I'll take the kind of chillier weather then, because I don't want it to be 90. And just a few community guidelines. We want this to be a safe and respectful and supportive environment. So we ask that you're kind and courteous to both yourself and to the others who are here. There's no promotions or spam. We respect everyone's privacy. So even if you know someone in real life, we don't share what they've said here during our Sonder socials outside of the Sonder social. No hate speech or bullying. If you have product questions or accessory questions, it's fine, especially if you're new, to kind of ask a few questions about what pins do you use or that kind of thing. But we try to limit some of that in the chat and kind of keep it focused on our setup. And if you have any customer care inquiries like shipping or billing, those kinds of things, we ask that you email hello@silkandsonder.com. They are a Monday through Friday operation. So if you email them today, they probably will not be able to get back to you until Monday or Tuesday. So just kind of keep that in mind and have a little patience. I know sometimes it can seem frustrating if you're having some customer care issues, but they will get back to you. And also just remember that these socials are a tool to help you elevate your emotional health through the power of community, but ultimately you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. So if there's ever anything we're working on that you're kind of not jiving with, it's kind of not, it's not hitting a good spot. And that's usually happens more frequently when we do the journal prompts as opposed to the weekly setups. But if there's ever anything, you can just chill, you can listen to the music, you can do your coloring page, you can work on some other section, right? This is you time. And we're so happy that you set aside this hour to be with us, to work on your journal, right? This is great self-care set aside time. So, as you know, or hopefully if you've been with us this month in June, our theme is loyalty. And it's been really interesting because we really want to look at loyalty through the lens of loyalty to yourself, right? And I think I've said this before, but when I first saw this theme, I wasn't very excited about it because I felt like when I think of loyalty, I think about loyalty to others. And I kind of feel like Silk and Sonder is for me. And so I kind of felt like, I don't know if I like this, right? But like Georgette is saying, loving this theme. I love the idea. And if you haven't read Meha's letter at the beginning of the journal, please do that, because she really talks about this idea of being loyal to yourself, being true to yourself, really kind of digging in and loving yourself and being loyal to yourself. And so it's really been kind of an interesting theme to kind of dig into. Honestly, this is a little secret. Anytime there's a theme that I'm not really jazzed about in the beginning, it usually ends up being something that I really need and I need to dig into. So if that ever happens to you where you see a theme and you're like, that's a good clue that you probably need to dig a little more into that one, whether we like it or not sometimes, right? So our agenda for tonight, we're going to do this little loyalty mind map. We do the mind mapping every weekly setup where we dig into a different area or a different aspect of our life, focusing on the theme. So you have some time to dig there. We do our rosebud thorn activity, a little bit of reflecting in the past week, and then we work on our weekly setup. And I always like to include these two little cartoons here. There's room for you here just as you are. So if everything is going great and you want to share some successes, you're just like so happy, things are going great. We love that. We love to celebrate you with you. We want to share. However, we know that sometimes life has those ups and downs, and sometimes we're in the down part. People have sometimes lost a job or have been ill or have lost a family member. Share that with us as well, right? We're here to support you. We're here to offer advice or suggestions if you need. If all you need is just someone to listen and go, oh my gosh, that's so bad, or that's so bad for you, or feel so bad for you, you're in our thoughts, we're thinking of you this week, perfectly fine to be there as well. And the way you feel matters. No emotion you feel is bad or unworthy. No one can tell you how you're supposed to feel, right? You feel the feels, and that's what we're here for. So let's dive into that mind map, right? So this month, again, we're exploring loyalty, specifically what it means to be loyal to yourself. Remember that by staying loyal to who you truly are, you reinforce self-love. It's a way of acknowledging your own worth and educating others on how they should treat you. So we've got these 4 different weekends to focus on loyalty this month. So this week is week number 3. And so we are going to focus on examining our needs. Week 1 was examining our core values and beliefs. Week 2 was examining our likes and dislikes. And now this week, we are going to examine our needs. If you haven't joined us before, you're welcome to dive right into examining your needs. You're also welcome to start working on those past weeks if you want to dig into that as well. So here's my example. So you can use a lot of different places in your journal for this. You can use a blank page, any blank page in your journal, and just quadrant it off and have week 1, 2, 3, 4. I used the quote on page 38 and just kind of divided that up, except for I realized I gave the bottom part a little more space than I might have liked, but it's fine. It's all fine. Maybe you want to use the definition that's on page 3. Maybe you want to use the weekly scratch pad section each week. Maybe you want to use sticky notes, again, kind of whatever works for you. So again, this week is week 3, so my needs. So what I did, and our needs can be varied, right? Sometimes our needs are physical. We need, like I put better sleep. I still am struggling with sleeping through the night. Downtime. Maybe I need to not schedule so many things and I need to give myself some downtime. Becoming more aware of my own emotions. I'm very good at identifying emotions in other people, but I need to kind of turn that back on myself to really be able to kind of connect with those emotions, time with friends and time with family. So what you want to do now is ask yourself, what do I need right now? So that's what you can kind of work on for that. And also, if you want to focus on emotional needs, you might try writing a list under each of these areas. So for example, ask yourself, what would make me feel safe and secure in my life? What would bring me a sense of purpose, autonomy, and identity? Or maybe how much play do I have in my life, right? So lots of different things to think about as we think about our needs. So I'm going to play a little bit of music, let you work on this. You're welcome to share in the chat what you're coming up with or what you're thinking of with needs. And we'll check back in here in just a few moments. I love all the support from everyone about my need for chocolate, right? I think that chocolate and coffee definitely should also go on that list. And Donna, hugs to you. You know, she says, I need my best friend to not have stage 4 breast cancer. So it's very tough, right? So think about these needs, right? And it's good to write that down. It's good to just kind of get that out and to just kind of see what are our needs. And it's so important for us to be able to identify those, right? Like I said, I'm really good at identifying needs or identifying emotions in other people, sometimes not so good with myself, right? So Stacy's saying work security, emotional and physical safety. Absolutely, right? Thinking about what would make me feel safe and secure, bring me that sense of purpose or that sense of autonomy and identity. So think about that this week, and think about when you write, when you're doing like your habits, or when you're thinking about your to-dos, or when you're thinking about the different things as we go through and work on this, think about how you might identify your needs, right? Yes, and someone had asked, Mary was saying, do we do the mind mapping the same way each month? Yes. So each month we will, whatever the theme is, we will divide it into either 4 or 5 weekends, depending on how many weekends actually kind of encompass that month. So you can always just kind of pick a page and work on that. And we dig into different areas, right? So again, depending on the theme, right? So and we, again, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a secret, but it's always like when we give the little it's kind of like, will be revealed in week 4. And if you ever miss a weekly setup, you can always ask in Sonder Club, hey, what was the mind map prompt this week? Or you can always watch the replay, right, again, to kind of see, so you can catch up. But it's a nice way to really kind of dig into that theme. So now let's dig into our rosebud thorn. And so this is always at the end of the week. And I think it's very, very important for us to spend just a moment reflecting back on our week, right? Kind of thinking back on the last 7 days of what we did. Because if you're like me, I have a tendency to just rush through everything and constantly on to the next thing. So at the bottom of page 44, if you've got your June journal, if you're just joining us, but you don't have a June journal, you're waiting for July, you can just use a scratch piece of paper or a blank page whatever works for you, right? And so we have three areas. We have our rose, which is our highlight, something that made you smile, something that made you happy, something that was kind of filling your cup for the week. We have our bud, which is that emerging opportunity, something that you're looking forward to. And then we have our thorn, which is that challenge, that thing that, maybe is just constantly that thorn in our side, that thing that we're maybe struggling with, a bit of a challenge, caused you to have some pain points, right? And so mine this last week was, I was in Bellingham, Washington, with my best friend, and her daughter was graduating from high school, which I can't believe because I've known her daughter since she was 3. And the fact that she's graduating from high school was just, amazing to think of. But she's an amazing young woman, and she's, very, very excited to go on to her next phase of life. And yes, Bellingham was beautiful. Bellingham has had less rain than Denver has had in these last month or so. So it was, but everything still there is very beautiful and very green. And we also went to the log show. They have a really interesting log show that was kind of fun to watch people do these little logging events, like log rolling and cutting down big trees and those kinds of things. Well, they were logs, they weren't trees, but they had been a tree at one time. And then my bud, and it's interesting, and I think this is good to point out, right? The bud and the thorn, and actually all three of these can be the same thing, right? Have you ever noticed sometimes there's things in our life that are beautiful and fabulous and wonderful? There are also still some emerging opportunities, and they're kind of a pain. There's some pain points. So we're still redoing our bedroom. If you've been with me and you've joined some of these weekly setups, I've been talking about this. We started over Memorial Day weekend when we got a new bed, and the bedroom's still torn up, and now I'm trying to scrape the gross popcorn ceiling, and that is just making a giant mess. So it's exciting that it's coming, but it's still a bit of a thorn. So I'll play a quick little bit of music, let you fill in your rosebud thorn. Please feel free to share as much as you would like, and we'll check back in here in just a moment. All right, so hopefully you were able to come up with those rose, bud, and thorns. Again, this is a great opportunity to just kind of think back. And sometimes if you're kind of stuck and you can't remember, sometimes you're like, I don't know, what did I do this last week? Look back through your camera roll in your phone, or look back through your calendar and see. I see that someone had the best ballet class I've ever participated in. That's very exciting. I love that idea. I loved that. I think it was Mary that had, just kind of scrolling back through there, that realized that, yeah, Mary realized that she can change her movement routine. She doesn't have to keep doing the same routine that she has maybe always done. She can kind of change up, go for a walk instead of maybe going all out at the gym. So all of these great things. And also it's really good if you have this for the whole week. When we get to setting up July and you reflect back on the whole month of June, you can flip back through these reflections, and it can kind of help remember. So awesome job, everyone. I love the sharing in the chat. So good to see all those different opportunities. So let's dig in to our planner. And I want to say, this planner is yours. And I know sometimes we're tempted to be like, well, what am I supposed to put in here? What do I have to put in here? What do I need to put in here? I want to do this right. I don't want to mess it up. This is your journal. This really is for you to kind of figure out what works and switch it up. Right. So if you're brand new and this is maybe your first month and you've been kind of working on these, it's good to kind of set the week up maybe as intended or as the sections imply, as kind of what they say they're for, just so you can kind of get a feel of what that's like. But once you do that for 1 week and you think, oh, that didn't really work for me. Like, I don't really like how that, I didn't really pay attention to it. I didn't really like what that looked like. Customize it for yourself. And that's the great thing about Sonder Club and our Sonder family. Everybody has so many amazing different ideas, right? People use different areas to maybe track their food or plan their meals, keep track of those daily affirmations. I saw in Sonder Club, the daily affirmation wasn't up. Was it Thursday morning? And I saw all the hubbub in Sonder Club. And if that ever happens to you, right, by the way, also as you're in Sonder Club and there's something weird going on, be sure to send that email to hello@silkandsonder.com so that they know something's going on, right? Maybe you want to use it to track your work or your school. You want to track your movement, right? Track the different kinds of movement that you're doing, your cleaning, mindfulness, end of day reflections. So take a snap of this to get all these different ideas of these different kinds of things as we walk through these different areas. If you think, I don't want 3 major goals, or I don't want to track my to-dos, or I don't want to track mind, body, health plan, right? Be sure to figure out a different way. Yeah, and like Jennifer is saying also in chat, just posting in Sonder Club that there's a problem doesn't let headquarters know, because they're not always necessarily in the app. I will say, as a facilitator, I usually am in the app pretty frequently. So when I see that, I usually shoot off an email as well. But I want to encourage you to do that if there's ever any issues. So here's some examples of the full page, right? And this time we're going to be on page, oh, I should have looked at this before we started. We are going to be on page 46. And yes, thank you, Brenda. So this is kind of what it looks like big picture, right? And that's the other thing. Kind of think about this whole big picture idea. We have how we want to feel. We have some goals. We have our to-dos, and we have our habits/activities. So these are just some different examples of some different things that people did. So again, you can kind of just take a snapshot and see, and we'll show more examples. I have so many examples for y'all today. Here's another one. And I got to say, I love the tiny, beautiful printing. You saw my example when I was doing the mind map. My writing is a little sloppy. Sometimes it doesn't fit quite as nicely. But you can see different people use stickers. They use make bingo cards in some of the areas. They use some washi tape to kind of black different areas out or to block different things up. So kind of changing what they do in some of those different ways. So let's work on our feeling first, how we want to feel for the week. And I really kind of think of this as my intention for how I want to show up, for the world, right? And you can think of it as being a reflection of what you'd like to receive. If you want love, give love. If you want truth, be truthful. If you want respect, give respect. What you give out will always return. So you can do this many different ways. Again, you can pick a word. You can do the I am statement. I like this idea of like saying, I am worthy. I want to feel I am inspiring. I want to feel I am strong. You can see someone put in 3 words. They have accomplished, in control, and peaceful. Someone wants to feel flexible. Someone wants to feel mighty. Someone wants to feel light and airy from letting things go. Right. And here is the feelings wheel. So again, so if you want to maybe pick a word and you're needing some inspiration. So I'll kind of cycle through these so that you can take a look at them, play a short little song, and then we'll check back in here in just a moment. So feel free to share how you want to feel. Jessica wants to feel connected this week. Right. So let us know in the chat. Again, quick song, and we'll check back in here in just a moment. All right. So hopefully that gave you just a quick moment to kind of look through. And I realized I was bad. I didn't cycle back through these so you could see some of the words on this page. But I see Mary saying loyal to myself, rejuvenated. Georgette, I'm sorry to hear you've been kind of dealing with the whole asthma and bronchitis. So you want to feel healthier and stronger, energized, accomplished, sentimental, relaxed, motivated, happy, accepted. All of these are great, great words. And I want you to kind of keep this in the forefront, like keep this in your mind as we work on these different sections, right? So when you think about your 3 goals, how can those goals help you feel the way you want to feel? When you think of your to-dos, how do those help you with that? How does your habit help you with that feeling, right? Yeah, and if you want to feel the same way that you felt last week, you want to use that same feeling, absolutely, totally do that, right? There is nothing wrong with that at all. So drop down then into those 3 major goals. So lots of different ways to kind of think about that. Yes, you should probably just keep it at 3. If you really want 4, you can, but don't have 20 goals for the week, right? That's too much. These are really goals for a week. You can also have 1 goal and focus on 1 goal. You could have 2 goals and focus on those 2. You can look back to your intentions on page 9, your monthly habit tracker on page 11. Remember kind of what you were saying you wanted to accomplish, what you wanted to do this month, how you wanted to be this month. Help use those to kind of help set those goals. Maybe you want to set your goals through the lens of loyalty. Maybe you want to create those 3 no goals. So goals that affect your life in a positive way. So no alcohol, no doom scrolling, no more than a certain number of minutes on social media, no impulse spending, no takeout meals. Look at previous weeks or journals to see if you have any outstanding goals you still want to accomplish, or maybe your goal has been kind of building. So in previous weeks, your goal kind of stays the same, but you kind of build on approaching that goal. You could certainly do that. Maybe you want to have maybe a personal challenge that you want to focus on this week. So a fitness challenge or a cleaning, decluttering challenge, self-care challenge, maybe doing like a soup, salad, or smoothie challenge where you want to have some different meals for lunch every day, different kinds of things that you want to work on. And here's some examples of some different things that people have done. Things like declutter, organize, and clean, witness beauty and inspiration, enjoy time with your family, decluttering. The person down in the bottom middle, I like how they have that because they have homework and me. So they've kind of divided their 3 goals into their 3 areas of their life to really kind of focus on, right? And the quote up at the top is kind of nice because it says, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal broken down into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action becomes reality. So what do you want to become a reality, right? What is that goal? What is that thing that you want to do? Oops. So again, I'm just going to give I'll give a little bit more time this time, right? Because it's a little more meaty here for you to kind of dig into. We'll check back in here in just a few minutes and let us know if you would like, what some of your goals are going to be for this next week. All right. Thank you for sharing. For those of you who shared about the different kinds of goals that you have. I love Brenda's going rogue this week and not using the journal colors. This week feels like bright blue. I love it. Yes, absolutely. You do not have to stick with the colors that match the journal. Usually I end up I'm grabbing whatever pen is handy. So mine usually ends up like a little rainbow there. And I saw some people had thought, you know what, I have a lot of to-dos and I have a lot of goals in a lot of different places in the journal and that kind of thing. So I think what I'm going to use this section for is to write down some good quotes, some things I want to remember, right? So write something down, a nice quote, which is absolutely fantastic, right? Again, remember, this is what works for you. This is what helps you get through your week. So then same thing with these to-dos, right? If you did some goals, maybe you want to have those to-dos that will be those small steps that will help you accomplish those goals, right? Remember, the results that you want rarely come without a process of gradual steps toward it first. So these to-dos can be those gradual steps toward those goals. Maybe you want to do a to-do list. So some people just like to write things down here as they do them. So it kind of becomes this growing list of ta-da, I already did these things, right? So that's fantastic. Everyone loves a good bingo. So you might want to do a bingo board. This person did it for how to center, and they're choosing 1 or 2 each day with different things like breathing, stretching, unplugging, those kinds of things. One person divided theirs into a column for wants and for needs. Again, remember our needs. We talked about that with our loyalty and what our needs are. So maybe our to-dos are to think about the things that we need. And sometimes there are things we need to do. Be careful to don't let the should creep in there, right? You think you should do something. It's more like you need to do something. Some people like to use the Eisenhower matrix to decide what kinds of things to write down and what to do with them. So that's that little box that's down in the right-hand corner where it has things that are important and urgent, or important but not really urgent, or there are things that aren't really important but they're urgent, things that have to be done, or they're not important and not urgent. So maybe there are things that we could delete, right? So you might want to do that. And then you see the one on the left, they're just going to treat themselves, right? How am I going to treat myself? These are my to-dos, my treat, right? So smoothies, she's got the emergency, 30 minutes reading, TikTok scroll, peak cuddles, delightful activity, declutter and tidy, paint nails, face mask, right? So different things. Yes, Mary, you're absolutely right. Don't should on yourself, right? So be careful with that word, because I catch myself doing it a lot. So again, so think about what you want to put down here for these for these to-dos. I'll give you just a few moments. You can work on these. Again, you can let us know if you want to, or you can let us know how you're repurposing it. Maybe you're just doing a doodle. Maybe you're putting in some stickers. Maybe you're putting in a really good quote. If you've got a really good quote, feel free to share, right? All right, so we'll work on that, and I'll check back in here in just a moment. Right. Did we think of some to-dos? I saw someone was going to try the ta-da thing this week, right? I think maybe I'll do some sort of a bingo or something, because those are kind of fun to kind of take a look at and see. So again, feel free to share these with us in Sonder Club, what kinds of things that you're popping in there. And again, you can always leave these sections blank, right? It is okay. We're not going to come and knock on your door and ask to see your journal and tell you, uh-oh, you didn't fill this in. We need, you're going to get a ticket, going to get a demerit, right? That's not how this works. Again, this is for you. So sometimes you fill in everything and then some weeks you fill in nothing, right? So again, it's whatever works for you. So underneath is that habit and activity section. So a lot of times folks will say, well, how is this different? I feel like I'm already tracking those monthly habits in that big wheel. And those monthly habits in the wheel are those things really you want to do every single day or most days. Whereas this is really more specific to the week and maybe things you just want to do a couple times that week. So again, it's, maybe you have an event coming up, so you need to do a few things, but they're not things you necessarily need to kind of keep doing every single day. So I thought I would show you, if you don't follow Silk and Sonder on Instagram, highly recommend it. They have lots of good, fun, motivational posts and all these different kinds of things where you can think of different fun ideas. So these are choose a self-love habit. So maybe you want to pick one of these self-love habits, like following your bedtime. I know I see a lot of folks talking about struggling with going to bed. And I know, Jennifer, you were talking about bedtime habits, trying to keep those in check. So maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to go on do not disturb on your phone so you don't get those messages. Jennifer's calling it revenge bedtime, where you're just like, I'm not going to go to bed. I'm going to do what I want to do now because I've spent the whole rest of the day doing stuff other people needed me to do. Right. Maybe you want to, yeah, I know. And Mary's saying D&D to me is Dungeons and Dragons, which you could, maybe you could go to play Dungeons and Dragons at work. I don't know. Think of those different kinds of things. So those are some fun ideas. Here are some other fun ideas that people have come up with. Again, using that intentions page, habit tracker page, to kind of help. Some people like to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 idea, where it says where the goal is. So you want to do something 5 times that week, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, once, right? You can kind of pop those in there. Notice how the person in the top and the middle just has 3 things, and that's absolutely perfect, right? They want to do the dishes, they want laundry, and they want to do their daily ritual. So they've got those 3 things in there. Here's another page with lots of great examples. And the super great example is this one up in the top, where, first of all, notice they have a blank space, right? And then they also have crossed off 3 days with their washi tape, right? They're like, I don't know what's going on for them for those 3 days, but they're like, these are just not a thing, right? I'm just crossing these off. These are not things that I need to worry about tracking anything. And they're doing things like having personal quiet time, no caffeine, those kinds of things. People have things like getting up at 6:30, right? So they have kind of their get up time, what time they want to wake up, or their time they want to go to bed. Maybe you want to put don't hit snooze, as something you want to get in there. Maybe you want to count your socials. And you see some of those have where they've kind of highlighted, they've drawn a little circle around the day. So that's their goal day that they want to get those things done, right? So they're thinking, for things that when they want to do something. So notice there's the one that has the Silk and Sonder socials. They have that for Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. They have those, right? Yeah, Brenda says she sees hers. And thank you for sharing. But so it's so great. There's all these different ways to do this. And some people go, you know what? I don't even like this section. I've already got the tracker for the monthly thing. I'm just going to cover this over with something, or I'm going to write something else in it, right? Again, totally up to you. So let me just play a little song for you, let you work on those, and we'll check back in here in just a moment. All right, lots of great ideas from everyone for different kinds of things that they're going to kind of put in those habits and activities. And like Brenda was saying, she likes to kind of have that, have those days circled, so it kind of gives her more of a, kind of pre-telling herself when she's going to do them. And I loved, Sarah said last week was tough, so I'm putting laugh as an activity. I love that, right? Put laugh, put, something fun, something silly. It could be, kind of whatever. I like to frequently, I use the pack my lunch for work 4 times that week, and it really kind of helps focus me. It's definitely a good money saver. And so it kind of really does that, help me focus. I did the 15-minute clean burst. I put that on there. I set a timer and said, okay, I only have 15 minutes to do that. And it was kind of like a race trying to get things like, how much can I get done in 15 minutes? And then I stopped, right? I told myself, like, I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm just going to set it for 15 minutes. So that was kind of a fun thing to put on there to check off. So flip your page over to page 47. And here's some examples of kind of what some people have done with the whole page. So you can see they used the meal planner for like delightful life quotes that they're going to put in. They put in like, how did I care for myself? They had their tracking their daily steps. Someone put it, I love the washi tape, right? Some people are always like, what do you do with washi tape? So you can see the pretty little washi tapes that people are putting in different spots to kind of decorate. Love the stickers, right? Just kind of these fun, different ways to kind of dress up these pages. Here's some other fun ones that people have done. Again, we can kind of do we can do that bingo board in there. We can have a calendar of fun. They have affirmations, again, kind of putting in there. So different kinds of things, steps and miles, wellness, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So again, different fun kinds of things. So what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of go through each one of these, and then I'll cycle through these pages while you work on this whole section. Because again, I know some people are like, I don't need to fill in every single one of these little boxes. I just have a few that I need to work on, right? So in the meal plan, again, lots of different ways. I feel like this is probably, if I took a poll, I feel like this would be our most repurposed section. People are like, I don't really plan my meals, or I don't really need to track them. So lots of different things that I can, kind of keep track of. Maybe this is where you want to keep track of your needs each day. What did I need this day? Maybe you want to track your rest plan, daily affirmations, again, cleaning that you want to do, different kinds of things like that. Then we have our mind body health plan. So some people like to track, this is where some people like to, they just want to track dinner, right? They want to track what they're going to make for dinner, right? So they kind of have that in there. Some people do something I did well this week, some ways I loved others this week. Once again, a bingo, right? I want to see somebody sometime that has like all of these sections filled up with bingo. I think that would be hilarious. I like the one with the alliteration, right? Like meatless Monday, TV free Tuesday, walking Wednesday. Those are kind of fun. Here's some fun 4 types of self-care that maybe you want to kind of put in there. Maybe they're questions you want to ask yourself on a daily basis. Am I setting proper boundaries? Am I making space for self-reflection? Am I moving my body regularly? Am I quieting my negative thoughts? Then our little shopping list. Once again, we've got our bingo. That was my little energy giver bingo that I had one week, where I had different things that give me energy, and I wanted to kind of check those off as I did them. Again, kind of quotes, another good place for quotes. Errands that you want to run, things, shop a true shopping list, right? Things that people needed to buy, things that people needed to pack, all of those different types of things. So I'm going to play some music, definitely longer piece this time. I'll let you work on these areas. Let us know, what are you doing with this page? Are you repurposing any of these spaces? Is there something you found that works really well for you that you want to share with other folks? And we'll just kind of cycle through each of these pages so you can kind of see, oops, not that one. See some different things that people did. Yes, and I will show, Donna, I will show the 4 types of self-care. That was right here. So let us know kind of what kinds of things you're popping in there, and we'll check back in here in just a few minutes, and then we'll wrap things up a little bit. All right. So lots of good ideas from different folks on how they're repurposing. I loved Amanda was asking about, where do y'all find washi tape and stickers and those kinds of things? And I said, trust me, if you Google it, if you Google washi tape, then you'll start getting lots of ads in Facebook and Instagram. You'll probably get more than you want. It could be a very dangerous thing. So hopefully you were able to kind of think of some different ways to use these sections. I decided I thought it might be good to kind of have those 4 types of self-care in my shopping list, just to kind of divide it as a little quadrant, just to kind of remind myself of those different types of self-care. So yeah, super fun, great ideas for different things to do. So a lot of people will ask, what do I do with this I am loving box, right? So this is just anything that you're loving during the week. So you could fill it out now, you can wait until, sometimes I just wait until the thing strikes me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to record that in my I am loving. So sometimes it's a song. Oftentimes it's a picture of my cat. That is my cat, Mr. Simba, up in the top left in our new bedroom stuff we got Star Wars bedding, and the little red dot is supposed to be kind of like R2-D2 kind of idea. And he thinks that perhaps it is now his throne and he likes to sit there. So I thought that was super cute. And I found these colored pencils that say colors of kindness. And I thought that was just like so cute because it's a warm hug, sunshine. So I thought that was like so cute and so fun. And I found it was like Office Max or Office Depot or one of those things. So I thought that was kind of fun. So I'm definitely loving this idea of having these colors of kindness, right? So yes, Mr. Simba is very proud of himself sitting on his little red dot. So the other thing I just wanted to mention, sometimes folks will ask about this on page 39. We always have this currently. So it's kind of in the middle. Usually what I do is I set a reminder on my phone for the 15th of every month to fill these out. And these really are just whatever's happening currently with you, right? It's just kind of one of those quick touch points that sometimes it's kind of nice to be able to look back on. So things that you're loving, how you're feeling, enjoying, anticipating, wishing, reading, watching, planning. It's that great mid-month check-in. So make sure if you haven't done this already, give yourself a little time in the next few days to kind of give yourself that mid-month check-in on these different things. It's great to be able to have this to look back. I also wanted to show, because people will often ask, like, how do you guys use the rest of these pages, right? What do you do with these, the weekly pages? So, and what do you put in this one thing box? So I have been putting in the one thing box the affirmation that is on the Sonder Club app. Some people will put, they have the one up in the top has like the national day. So it's like hot chocolate day, Chinese New Year day, Kawaii day, doggy date night, right? So they have some kind of World Cancer Day, right? So they have kind of different things. If you Google National Day calendar, you'll get like a whole list of things that you can put in there. Some people don't put anything, they just kind of leave it blank. Some people will use the sections underneath for maybe appointments or things they have to get done. Some of those things that are specific on each one of those days, they put in. I love all the seashells, and my favorite color is sunset. Salty but sweet. Like I love these fun little stickers that are in there. Oh, Jennifer just popped in the chat the national calendar that you can look. And Katie's saying uses the one thing box for the one thing that made her smile. Here's some other fun ones. Someone did, they have a Bible verse, a quote, and an affirmation that they put in there. I thought that was very pretty. And then the thing up at the top they have are the different rooms that they're going to be cleaning. So I thought that was awesome. You can see the other one, they have things like events, to-dos, and chores, and an affirmation spot down at the bottom. Oh, Jennifer, today is National Root Beer. Oh, and I don't want to eat your vegetables. I'll do the root beer. I'll go and get a root beer while I'm cleaning the popcorn ceiling. And here's another one that's very, very pretty. They have lots of pretty stickers. They have things that they accomplished, positives. They have some appointments to do tomorrow. They kind of switch it up, it looks like, every day. So lots of fun ways, fun things that they can do with that. So again, it's kind of like make it your own, right? Think what works. And I do sometimes I'll also use that if I happen to have been listening to a webinar and I hear like a cool quote or a good thought, I'll write that down. Or if I'm reading a book, maybe there's a little note I want to jot down. So I kind of throw those in there as well. So as you can see, we love it when you share your planner in Sonder Club. It gives us some great examples. It gives your Sonder fam some fabulous examples to kind of take a look at. So as much as you feel comfortable with, we would never force you to, but we love to see those examples, and we never put your name with them. You're always welcome to give a shout out and say, hey, that middle one's mine. But we don't necessarily identify you, and we don't put anything that would have any identifying information on there. So believe it or not, this is always the fastest hour of the day, right? So we have come to the end, but hopefully you've got a good start on getting those pages set up. Again, remember, we have 2 weekly setups tomorrow morning and evening. We have another one Monday. You're always welcome to join for more of those. Yeah, Brenda, I know it's so fast, but you're welcome to join again if you want to spend some more time with us. We do still have the Refer a Friend program going. If you refer a friend and they sign up, you get $10, they get $10. You should also get a link in your email about a survey to kind of fill out about the Sonder Socials. You can also scan this QR code. And Jennifer's putting that ever important YouTube event recording in there. Make sure that you bookmark the link or you save the link in YouTube, right? Whatever works for you to kind of keep a hold of that. And believe me, I post this in Sonder Club pretty frequently, but you can't search it. You can't like go onto Silk and Sonder's page and find it. You have to actually have the link to get to it. And we probably have over 500 videos there now. So you can always go and find, you can always find a weekly setup. And again, like I said, they're pretty much the same kind of format, just some different examples, and then a different mind map depending on the theme for the month. So you can always kind of take a look at that. So with that, I continue enjoying your Saturday evening. Hopefully things are good where you are. I know in Florida it was really warm, so maybe it's cooled down a little bit. I don't know, probably not. Thank you all so much for joining us. We love to spend some time with you, and hopefully we will see you again at another one of our socials soon. So take care, everyone. Have a great, fabulous rest of your evening.